Hi, fourth graders. We're going to go ahead and start today with Unit 1, Lesson 1 of fourth grade math. So I've got my math book here with the polar bear on it, and I'm going to start on page 3. This math curriculum begins with place value, and a lot of this unit will be review from third grade, and it's very useful to kind of bring this back into our brains, review it, and then take it to that next step of fourth grade math. So what we're going to be working with today are something called place value drawings, and we're going to be doing them on a dot array. So this is a dot array. You probably recognize it. It's a series of dots, and what we do is we look at the amount of dots to represent a certain place value in our numbers. So the first question says, what number does this drawing show? If you look at this, go ahead and take a minute and count the large squares, count the lines, and count the circles. And then think about what number you see. Okay, if you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, 1, 2, 3, 3 tens, so I'm putting the 3 in the tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones, you would be correct. And of course we would read that as 537. Take a minute and think about what you would write for explain your thinking. How would you tell somebody, why did this shape represent 100? So 5 of these would be 500s. Why does this shape or line represent our tens and then ones here? We're going to be using some certain vocabulary words for this. So 100 box, this will be 100 box. Makes sense, right? Because it's a box. And then we're going to have something called quick tens, and it's just a line that quickly goes through 10 dots. And then of course our ones are just circling dots. So let's look at the next section of this page. And yes, you should be following along in your math book, and you can be filling in the answers in your math book at home. Okay, so we have a model here. Now we've added something because it kind of zoomed out a little bit. Here are our 100 boxes. So what do you think these guys represent? Thousands, right? Of course, because that's the next place over to the left. So if we're thinking about how many ones would be in the number that we're trying to figure out here, we really have to carefully look here, and we can see that there are 8 ones circled there. How many quick tens? Notice they use that word quick tens, but really it's just tens. We have 6 lines, 100 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1,000 bars. They call them 1,000 bars, 1, 2, 3. Because they are like a bar graph, or that if you put the boxes together, they will become bars. How many 100 boxes could we draw inside each 1,000 bar? Again, this is review from third grade, thinking about how many hundreds are inside 1,000. And if you don't remember, you could continue to sketch these down and kind of play with it a little bit and figure out how many of these 100 boxes would fill up 1,000's box. But you probably already know the answer by heart, and it would be 10. In fourth grade, we spend a lot of time explaining our thinking, and I know you've done this before. So thinking about why that would be true, you'll notice that I don't spend a lot of time on the videos writing out the explanation. That is simply for because of time, but I do expect you to start really thinking about how you're going to explain these, and then when you do your online assignment on Think Central, you're going to be typing out answers for me to see. So that will be something that you'll be expected to do, writing your explanations and typing them. What number does this drawing show? So we know that we have a 3 for thousands, 4 for hundreds, 6 for tens, and 8 for ones. Now think about what I'm missing there. A comma, right? Remember, the comma always goes right after the thousands place. If you don't remember, you can always think about, okay, if I start here on the very right of my number and hop backwards 3 times, 1, 2, 3, I would get to where my comma should be. Okay, so pretty basic stuff there on page 3. Let's move on to page 4. So we're going to start at the top. And this is going to be talking about how place value can be shown without using a dot array. So pretty much the exact same thing, right? It just doesn't have those dots in the background. What number does this represent? So we have 1,000, 200s. Notice that they've grouped the tens 5 and 2, which is kind of nice. It makes them easier to use mental math to count them. 5 plus 2 is 7. And then we have, it looks like 9 ones. So we're going to say 1,279. Double check me, make sure I have that right. Okay, and then again, you would explain your thinking. One example of explaining your thinking here could be, I know that the bar represents 1,000. I know that the hundreds represent 100 in each. You know, you could just explain it that way. This is getting us warmed up for the rest of 4th grade math, so I know that the explanations are going to seem pretty simple for us right now, and that's okay. That's, you know, we always like to start there and build up pretty quickly from there. What would the drawing represent if it had 3 more 100 boxes? Now this is where things get a little bit trickier. If you're looking at this drawing and you thought, okay, what if it had 3 more 100 boxes? What then would the number be? Would it still have a 1 in the thousands place? Yeah, it would. And then 200 plus 3 more of the hundreds would be 5. And then we would keep the tens and the ones the same. So I'd like you to go through these and answer the rest. You're going to be having to add some numbers to the place value, take away some numbers, and sometimes it might adjust other numbers in the full number as well. You don't have a math board with you, so anytime you see on your math board, you don't have to worry about that. You can use scrap paper instead, or if you have a whiteboard, that is pretty awesome and handy as well. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do number 17. It says, on your math board, make a place value drawing for a different number that has the digits 1, 2, 7, and 9. Okay, so we can't do the same one they had before. 1, 2, 7, 9. I think I'll do 9,271. See how I still have all those same numbers in there? Now, place value drawings are pretty fast, 4th graders. We do not have to make them perfectly. It's just about representing the number and getting a visual of how each place value relates to the one around it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now I have 200, so I'm going to put 200 boxes there. I probably made those too big, right? Because 10 of those should technically fit into there. But like I said, really what we're thinking about is just quickly getting a nice sketch and then understanding, oh yeah, that would have to fit 10 in there. Notice how I use the strategy. I like that strategy of clumping 5 and then 2 for the 7. And then I've got my 1, which would just be a circle there. So 9,271. And then problem 18 on that page simply asks us to explain how your drawing is similar to and different from the drawing for the number that was on this page. So you would just be comparing your drawing to the drawing there, comparing and contrasting. Okay, so on this page we have to practice with some place value drawings. So go ahead and look through these and think about what you're going to draw. I'm going to choose number 21 here. So I see it's 603. Really practice saying these numbers aloud. 4th grade, we quickly get to big numbers, so the more you practice with these numbers that only have 3 digits, the better. So how would I say that? I would not say 603 or 603. I would say 603. Okay, 600 boxes and 3 ones, just like that. So again, it doesn't have to be super perfect or lined up. Just want to make sure you get your model down so that it makes sense. And the last page of this lesson, practice modeling with thousands, remembering to notice the commas there, and also really make sure that you practice reading these as we get into our 6-digit numbers and our 9-digit numbers this year. Remembering that we always say a place value word when we get to the comma. Here's what I mean by that. 2,596. So practice saying that because it does get trickier, as we know, when we get into the larger numbers. So for 2,596, I would draw 2,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, right? So you can see I got that done pretty quickly. I didn't have to spend too much time on that. All right, 4th graders, that is lesson 1 in Unit 1.